Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're here together. I'm here with Paulina from the channel Less Pauli. You might also know her from our podcast. So yeah, we recorded 25 episodes now, and if you haven't listened to the podcast, I want to recommend you check it out, and it's linked down below in the show notes as always. So in today's video I thought we would answer some questions from you. And I think it's more interesting if we both answer it, also because we do make content to like similar topics. So I thought it can be interesting to hear two perspectives maybe. The thing is, I asked you on Instagram and I got only one question. So I kind of looked through the comments of the past few months, even like up to like 2 months ago. And by the way, thank you so much for all the nice comments. And we found a few questions that we're gonna answer now. By the way, please also check out Paulina's channel. It's in German, but I can highly recommend it because you can still see it. You can use the automatic subtitles. Maybe you want to learn German or you understand German. So it would help her out a lot because she's trying to get monetized soon on YouTube. And you know you need like 1,000 subscribers for that. So you can also help her out by just subscribing if you want to support her.
Thank you.
I think this one is actually an interesting one because it's, can you make a video about social family pressure? And I'm not going to make a complete video about it right now, maybe in the future, but I wanted to talk about that topic because I think that's something we all kind of know. And I think we actually talked about it on the podcast already a little bit, but what is your advice, or how do you experience social and family pressure?
I think in the podcast we talked about the pressure we have because we both don't come from Munich. So you come from Switzerland, and my hometown is also a few hours away. And in the first moment I thought the question would be like how I handle the
but that's okay
pressure.
Too, because it's not really so please tell me how you handle it.
because we talked about it, that it's sometimes a bit difficult to have only a few days in our hometowns, and then you want to see everyone. How do I manage this? Sometimes I don't. Just because it's not possible. But I try to combine some parts of my family. As you may listen to our podcast, you may know that my parents are separate, but since a few months they talk with each other again. So
so interesting.
So I can see them both when I'm at home.
At the same time?
At the same time.
Wow.
I live by my mom. When I go home, I live by my mom, but I can do something with both of them. Like,
wow,
my father makes some food and we go there to eat. So that makes everything a lot easier. And then I have to say, sometimes I just decide for my family than visiting some friends. I have to say, because I have a bigger sister. She also lives in my hometown with 2 children and a husband, and I would like to see the children as well. So I decide to visit them and not visit some friends.
Okay, but do you always pick like family over friends, or is it like one time you pick friends, one time you pick family?
Yeah, something like this.
Okay.
And also sometimes, I don't know, my friends don't have time, or family doesn't have time. So yeah, and I try to spend a few more days in my hometown if it's possible. So taking a holiday, or I don't know. Yeah,
I think it's interesting because I understood like what I'm thinking about when I'm thinking about like family pressure, social pressure. I'm more so thinking about how my life choices affect other people, or how other people view my life choices. For example, me living as a minimalist, so maybe, I don't know, I don't want to get gifts, but they really want to get me gifts. So I have to say I'm like a huge people pleaser, so usually I try to avoid conflict, which is maybe not the healthiest thing, because sometimes it's really necessary to make something clear, to set boundaries. But for example, for the whole gift thing, I think that's something a lot of people have asked me as well. I still get gifts, but I know that most people know now that I don't really need any like stuff gifts. So I usually get something to eat, or maybe something that I can do, that I can use up somehow. Yeah, exactly, something like that. And that's what I like. And I mean, of course, it still happens that I get gifts that I don't use, and I think it's absolutely okay to then like get rid of them again, because nobody wants you, at least if they're giving the gift to you because they like you, they don't want you to keep it if you don't like it. At least I hope it's that way. And the same kind of goes for all the other family pressure. So there was actually a situation a few weeks ago with some family members where I was in a situation, and I just do realize that yes, I can look at all of my family members and try to find a solution that's good for all of them. But first and foremost, I have to make sure that it's also good for me. Because if we all try to kind of act in a certain way for other people, then in the end nobody's happy. And so I think I want to take them into consideration, but I also need to really make sure that it's good for me and it fits my values. No matter if it's, sustainability, vacation, visiting them, attending something, I don't know, things like that.
Yeah. I have to say, for me, it's like the same.
Yeah.
I don't know if I get any real gifts.
Oh,
my friends.
I don't get gifts from like a lot of my family members, but actually my boyfriend's family, they give me more gifts, or they don't give me gifts.
No, when I get gifts, I also get food. Or from my bigger sister, she always gives me some sustainable pieces, because she loves to try out different products, and then she buys stuff for me, and I can try them also. So that's nice. That's super nice. So most of the things are sustainable, so that's very good. And my friends and I, we don't really buy gifts. Sometimes small things, but we always, if one of us it's their birthday, the other one's planning some activities we can do as a group, because
and I think that's great, because then you can spend time together, and that's like the most valuable thing in a friendship. You're all working full time and stuff like
that's the reason why we're all working full time. We don't have time that often, especially as a group of 6 people. It's kind of difficult. So we decided to do activities together as presents.
That's a good idea. Let's move on, because otherwise this is gonna be incredibly long here. Okay. Actually I got a comment, it's not even a question, to my video about the title was Quitting Extreme Minimalism 6 months later, and I don't know if it's a joke or not, but the person just wrote quitter. And I want to say to that, like, when it comes to minimalism, when it comes to sustainable living, when it comes to any kind of lifestyle choice or the way we act, the hobby that we have, I think it's so much more important to make sure that we are happy with the way we're handling it than to see it through and not be a quitter. And so, I'm a very, very happy quitter when it comes to extreme minimalism, because it's so much more important that I like my life and that I am happy than that I'm a good extreme minimalist. Are there things in your life that are like similar, where you maybe, and I know this feeling of like, but you need to see it through. I don't know if it's studies or if it's a hobby or if it's a goal you set for yourself. Actually, we also talked about in a podcast about dreams we gave up, and I think that's kind of similar a few episodes ago. But what are you a happy quitter when it comes to certain things?
I think yes, and I have to say, I think it's so funny, because for me, you're still an extreme minimalist. If I compare myself with your life,
and I mean, you're also kind of trying to live minimally and decluttering and things like that. So
but I still have a lot of stuff, as you know.
But it's not about the number.
Maybe I can say, like, I quitted to try to be perfect sustainable, because I realized that it's not possible.
No, I think, actually, I know about which question we want to talk next. But I think so too. Like, sustainability is always, I mean, I think we all have a certain responsibility and we should all try. But being perfect is kind of impossible, because the fact that we're alive, we're having a carbon footprint. And I don't know what's the goal. Like, you have to define perfection maybe, and that's kind of hard as well. So I think we all have to find a balance as well, because if we spend all of our lives, all of our living seconds every day to just try to be sustainable, then maybe we can't take care of our families, of our mental health, of our, I don't know, whatever else. I'm sorry, it's important to us.
Yeah.
Okay, because then I will skip a few here, and we're talking about the only question we got from Instagram, which is, can a sustainable company have a factory in India and be sustainable or not? Actually, I know exactly which company you're talking about.
We both know.
Yes. We don't need to say the name because I think it doesn't matter. But I think, yes, it can. I think that's not the deciding factor if a company is sustainable, but I can go into more detail in a second. But what's your opinion? Does that work?
I think so.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I'm not an expert when it comes to the working conditions and where's the difference between India and I don't know where they produced before or where you can.
I think Portugal and Turkey maybe.
Yeah. So I can't say if it's better or if it's or not. I don't know.
Okay, so why do I think that it's still possible? So I think there's two factors. There's the ethics and the sustainability. And the sustainability is just about like managing supplies. How is, for example, the cotton produced? How is it dyed? Is there a lot of waste when cutting? How is it shipped? Is there a lot of plastic packaging involved? How is it like dealt with leftovers? Are customers asked to buy as much as possible, or are they asked to like shop responsibly? And I think so that is not a problem at all. And yes, if you sell most of your goods in like the US and Europe, of course there will be a bit more shipping involved. If you produce in India, maybe, actually let's say maybe, because a lot of cotton is produced in India. So maybe if the cotton goes from India to like be grown and then produced and then it's shipped to Europe, it's not even a longer way. And also that doesn't make such a huge difference if it's shipped somewhere. But of course you also have to decide what's important to you. And then let's talk about the ethics, because I think that's more difficult there. So if you produce in the EU, for example, there are many laws that kind of make sure that you can't even produce super unethical. Now I think there's always a way to mistreat people, and there's also always a possibility to treat them better than you need to. And so I think if a company produces in the EU, for example, then you can be pretty sure that the wage is okay and the people are treated okay and they can earn a living wage. They have only up to a certain number of hours a week that they have to work. And then in India, I'm pretty sure the laws are not that strict. But again, that does not mean that it's not ethical, because there are certifications and there are like companies that just work directly with factories and make sure that the conditions are all right. As far as I know, the brand I'm talking about, still has factories with a lot of these certifications. So I'm pretty sure that it's not actually worse than producing in Europe. I think there are other factors like how you encourage people to buy stuff and what kind of materials you use, things like that can be questioned with every single brand, pricing, for example, as well. But I think it's possible. I would say I will come to the conclusion it's possible, but it doesn't mean like that from now on we don't have to care where it's produced and say like India, Bangladesh, I don't care, I'm sure it's fine. That's not the case.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I think there's this like similar, that most likely it's not perfect. As soon as you buy something new, there are resources involved. And if you cannot buy it, it's more sustainable. Yeah. And so you kind of just have to see what you can afford, what fits your body, what's available to you, and make the best decision that you can. But I think the biggest impact actually has the number of pieces we buy. So if shopping is such a hobby of ours that we buy 500 items a year, then that can't be sustainable no matter where we buy it. And yeah, if we just...
I'm sorry, I'm a bit tired.
And if we just buy what we need, then it's most likely fine.
Yeah. I wanted to add, it's a bit...
of course.
It's not about a question really, but I hope that it's as sustainable as it was before.
Me too.
And that they found another way to reduce the prices, because I think it's a good thing that the pieces are cheaper, because then more people can afford a sustainable t-shirt or trousers or I don't know, and then maybe more people decide to take the sustainable piece than the
I mean,
fast
that's
fashion
definitely
piece.
true.
That's so good. So I'm really hoping that they found another way to be as sustainable as they were before.
I think the problem with that is just that if it encourages people to buy more instead of encouraging more people to buy what they need, then it's like not sustainable. Then it's not then it just adds more products, more impact, more stuff that gets like decluttered again. And that's not what we want. Okay, we talked for a long time, but I hope it was still interesting for you to
and
watch.
you were scared that we don't have enough questions.
No, but it was enough. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know your opinion about the subject, and also if you have any questions, leave them down below. Listen to our podcast, and you can also, submit podcast requests as well if you're interested, and make sure to check out Paulina's channel as well. It's gonna be linked down below in the description as well. It's not show notes, not the bio. I'm keeping saying the wrong thing. And maybe in the first pinned comment. Make sure to check that out. We're also gonna make a video on her channel together.
Yes.
That we're gonna record right now. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye bye, and thank you for watching, and sorry for me being so tired. I didn't eat anything today, so maybe that's why. I need some energy, need some food.
You need something before recording the other video.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Goodbye.